All right, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Leadership Blend with your host, Ricardo D. Rice. And today we are taking a good look at Hollywood, or Atlanta Wood, like I'm going to call it, Atlanta Wood. And the objective of today is to really get an idea of what it's like working in the industry at a certain age. Now, look, when I say a certain age, everybody knows I'm 40. I make no qualms about it. I'm 40. So when I say a certain age, I'm talking about 40 and up, because the concept is, or society would have us to believe, that once we come to a certain age, there are certain things we just can't do or we should not do. So today, especially, and honestly, I think it's a lot worse for women, and we hear about this all the time, whether it be despite ethnicity. So it's not just black women, it's not just white women, it's women in general who talk about in Hollywood that once you get a certain age, you go from being Baywatch babe to Cicely Tyson grandmother. Like, that's just you hear it all the time, the ageism in the industry. So when we say ageism, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the fact that once you become a certain age, there are certain things that you should not do, or the industry tells you should not do. So this young lady, I'm gonna say young lady. This young lady I met probably about a year ago, maybe a year ago.
It's been a year.
I met about a year ago. It's been about a year ago, and we were at a festival together, and she saw me in action, and we laughed about that the other day because she didn't know this whole story behind that.
Right.
We met on the red carpet, and after that red carpet, we kind of stayed in touch, and then we ended up doing some other things together. And recently, we did the Atlanta Creators Conference, which was amazing.
The Atlanta
and
Creators
anybody that invites me someplace, anybody that invites me any place and makes me feel at home, we in love. And I will say that this young lady made sure not only that I was there, that I had everything I needed and then some. So it is an honor for me to have her on the show today to talk about what she does, because, hey, she is that chick. And you're going to find out today just how much a chick she is. None other than Miss Laura Poindexter! I'm so excited to have you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely fine today. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So tell everybody a little bit about you.
Oh, gosh, my name is Laura Poindexter, and I am an actress, writer, producer, director, multi-award winning screenwriter, originally from Harlem, New York, now living and residing in the ATL, baby. Yeah, so ATL. Yeah, so I've been here for approximately 3.5 years, and I came to Atlanta, at 50 years old, to do something that I've always wanted to do, but I had to do life first. So I felt like I was granted the permission. I came here, and all I knew was that this is what I had always wanted to do. I did not come in the game with a background in entertainment, did not come in with any formal training. I did not come in with any of that. I think what benefited me and what gave me this awesome trajectory in the industry is that I have 23 years of solid business administration experience. And that allowed me to really navigate in an industry. This can be a very treacherous industry. Let me just say that. So yeah, I'm here. I'm living the dream. I'm doing my thing.
All right, so let's start from the beginning. So which now that I know that you're from New York, that explains so much, because your personality, that you have that New York personality that I just love. So let's start from the beginning. So what is your background actually in? What is your background in?
My background is in health and human services. For about 23 years, I worked in health and human services. And how I got into that field is that this July, I will be 34 years clean and sober. So I'm a recovering addict. Okay, so when I got clean, I'm a recovering addict. When I got clean, my survivor's remorse, it did not allow me to do what I wanted to do. I left so many people in that. So I decided to go back in that and bring some people out. In my 23 years, I have worked for Johns Hopkins Hospital Center for Social Concern as the site supervisor. the Veterans Administration, drug court. I have gotten kids out of foster care. I have stopped African-American men from paying child support from behind bars. When I said I went in like a monster. And I dedicated my life to my community for 23 years. And I love what I did. I love what I did so much that I thought the opportunity to do what I wanted to do as a child had gone. I thought that time had come and gone. It wasn't like I was doing my thing in health and human services, longing to be in the industry. It wasn't like that. And normally it's not like that for me, because if I'm doing something, I'm doing it at 150%. I don't normally split that, but that's my background. That's my background.
So how do we get from you being in an arena where you're giving back to the community that you left to, you know what, it's time for me to follow my childhood dream. I don't care if I am 50. This is what I want to do. How did we get there? Or how did you get there?
Oh, well, life showed up. In 2010, I was going through a horrible divorce. I had lost my job, and it was a career position. I was the program manager. I was making large bread. 2 houses, 2 cars. I was living the life, and life showed up. I had lived long enough to not take it personal. Don't get it twisted. Everything that I was going through, I was very confused. When we think that we are doing the right thing, we assume that the right thing, we should be getting that back. But life is such as it is. Life doesn't have any cut cards. Everybody gets a turn. So through losing my job, getting a divorce, exhausting my savings, I found myself at nothing. And so using drugs was no longer an option. And I had a relationship with God. And so I needed to ask him what the problem was. Like I got off of drugs. I went back in the community, and I'm helping the homeless. I'm helping the incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting kids out of foster care. I'm like, yo, what's up? And God, people say you shouldn't question God, but I need people to really understand him from a relationship basis. You can ask God anything you want to ask him. It's not what you ask, it's how you ask. So when I came at God with the rant, he didn't answer me, because he still needed me to recognize that no matter where you are in your life, I'm still God, Laura. Watch it. If you think you're going through something now, keep talking to me like that. So
okay, you don't play them games.
Right. So I had to get to a place where it was what it was. I was going on job interviews. I wasn't getting hired. I was just really stuck and stuff. So I said, God, what do you want me to do? No, honestly, Lord, what do you tell me what you want me to do? And I'll do it. Because this was the same God that got me out the street. This was the same God that got me out the jail. This was the same God that kept me. I mean, I should have been dead. I should have been dead so many times over, because I was, that's the kind of lifestyle I was living. So if that was the same God, then he was still there. And he said to me, right. And I said to him, what? He said, right. It didn't make sense to me at the time. At the time, it didn't make a lot of sense to me. But when I did concede to what he told me, I began to write poetry. It was very therapeutic for me. And I started posting my poetry. It started getting a very, very good response. I started going on Blog Talk Radio. I started doing hosting gigs. People loved my voice. Before you knew it, I had launched my own podcast, The Literary Corner. Like, I was doing podcasts when they first came out. God blessed me to interview Chrisette Michelle, Deb Antony, Love and Hip Hop, Murphy Lee, Omar Gooding. It was the progression of me losing everything in order to get what God had for me on this side. And so, sometimes we fight what we're enduring. It's so much easier to rest in whatever it is, because anybody can sleep in a king size comfortable bed, right? Anybody can do that. that doesn't make you who you are. It's the people that can chill on the pallet on the floor. So I had to get comfortable in my discomfort. And once I did that, God just started opening doors for me.
Okay, so at this point, you're writing, you have the podcast going. You're still in New York, right?
I'm actually in Baltimore.
Okay. So you're in Baltimore. So what changes? What says, okay, now I need you to go to Atlanta? How does that transition happen?
Okay, so while doing the podcast, I was meeting a lot of people. I was traveling back and forwards to Atlanta to do gigs, and then I started looking for opportunities, acting opportunities in the DMV, and they were very sparse. And so I knew that because of my age, because of my background, I was very realistic as it relates to what it was going to potentially take to coming to the entertainment. Entertainment is very demanding. I knew that, but there was something in me that said I could do it. So I made the decision that I would have to be in either three places: New York, Los Angeles, or Atlanta. I'm from New York. I have family in New York, but it's expensive to live in New York. I don't know anybody in LA. And I got a little network in Atlanta. It's not as expensive as New York. Atlanta was my chosen destination. I packed everything I could pack in one suitcase. My family, my friends, my sister, it was like, yo, you bugging. I was like, I'm gone. They was like, you are bugging. I was like, but I believed in what the spirit was telling me. And I came, I started auditioning, sleeping on people's couches, eating ramen noodles, you know what I'm saying? Dressing from the Goodwill, cutting my own hair, doing my own nails, doing my own makeup. See what I'm saying? This game is about sacrifice. And I couldn't look at what the industry tells me that I have to have. Because if I have to have that, I ain't gonna never make it. Because I ain't got none of that. I ain't got none of that shit y'all talking about. I ain't got none of that shit. I ain't got no professional resume. I ain't got no professional headshot. I ain't never studied under this person or that person or the next person. But what I do have is a lot of life. I got a lot of life. You need me to be sad, man, I can show you sad like nobody else. You need me to be mad, I can show you mad like nobody else. Happy, God delivered me from drugs. I can be happy like nobody else. And even though I didn't have none of that stuff, when they gave me them scripts, I murdered them roles. And they kept coming. Scripts kept coming. Shout out to Bobby Huntley. Yo, he gave me my first speaking role. Man, shout out to Natalie Davis. She gave me my first theatrical role. It was a lot of people that took a chance on me. And I ain't let them down. So, yeah.
So before you made the move, how long had you been sober?
Oh, I had been sober for about 30 years.
Okay. All right. So you decide, so at this moment, you're like, okay, I know what I'm hearing. I know what I'm feeling. It's time to go. Let's talk about family, because I think a lot of times family is a dynamic that sometimes can make or break people's decisions to follow dreams.
Okay.
So in your situation, how big of a role was your family playing in sobriety, being supportive, things of that magnitude? Were they a big factor or a smaller factor?
They were a non-factor.
Oh.
The reason why my family was a non-factor is because when I decided to do this, I was overgrown. When I decided to do this, I had grandkids. When I decided to do this, I had lived my life. I had nobody to answer to. And I'm glad you asked that question, because that's probably another reason why the universe gave me permission to do it. I had nobody to answer to. I had nobody to answer to when I came in the game. You know, and that.
But you have kids.
I have one adult son.
Okay.
I have one adult son. My son will be 34 years old. I'll be 55 years old in September. damn, you know I make 55 look good. Oh, oh, oh.
I mean, can I say it first? Jeez. You look good, girl. You look good. You look good.
Thank you.
Okay, so that makes it, because like I said, I think a lot of times family can make the difference in what you do. I know when I was doing making decisions to do my stuff, because people, they see what I look like on paper, and everybody's like, well, you know, why didn't you do what you went to school for and things of that magnitude? And the constant fight was, that's not what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. What I feel like I'm supposed to be doing is what I'm doing now. So this is what I have to pursue. But people have very little appreciation for the process, but they love the outcome.
Oh,
So yeah, you see me struggle now, but I'm promising you I'm going somewhere. Yeah, I may not be able to do this now, but I promise you, if you ride the train, we going somewhere. So yeah, I just want to make that distinction to let everybody know where you sit when you make the decision. All right, so you get to Atlanta, you start auditioning. How old are you now when you get to Atlanta?
I get to Atlanta, I'm 50 years old. I'm 50 when I step to Atlanta. So, when I relocate to live here permanently, I was 50 when I stepped in Atlanta.
Wow. So you get here, you start doing auditions. What are you hearing? Like, are people very welcoming? Were you auditioning for certain types of parts that fit a 50-year-old? How was you doing? How would you make
when I came and I knew I had to do the extra thing, because the extra, you learn set protocol. You get accustomed to being on set all day. You get accustomed to people pushing you around, talking real greasy to you. You get accustomed to working for a little bit of nothing, but that's a part of the industry. And I see, again, I honestly have to really thank my wisdom that comes along with the age, you know, the wisdom to understand that I did not know anything. See, I know what I know, but I know what I don't know. And if I don't know it, I can stand in the room until I figure, you know, I don't have a problem with learning anything. I didn't have money to take classes. So doing extra roles, that was my that was my boot camp. That was my training ground. It got very old very quick, because I noticed that some people in the room, when it came to doing these extra roles, they were professional extras. They thought it was cute to talk about how many extra sets they had been on. Shout out to the E-listers. They just came out actually with a web series talking about extras. Is a great show. So y'all check that out, the E-listers. So that got old for me really, really quick. And so I took a picture with my camera phone. It was jacked up, but I had something, and I started going on auditions, and people started paying attention, because like I said, give me the role. Give me the role. The very first thing I got, like I said, Bobby Huntley, which he's doing really big things in the industry. And I auditioned for the role of Vivian in Charlie, and my voice actually got me that role. And saying that you work with Bobby Huntley is a big deal in Atlanta. So I could go in and audition, and they would see that. That would make them stop and pay attention. Guys, please be mindful of who you work with. Don't just work with anybody, man. But working with Bobby Huntley opened a lot of doors for me. And from there, I went on and just started auditioning and getting more and more roles. You know, like I said, before I knew it, I'm on Amazon Prime. I'm on Netflix. Then I started writing. And that was game over. Right now, Choose This Day has 4 awards, and this year we were an official selection at Drama Inc. And I don't know, it just, I mean, if you put the work in, I don't know what to say. If you put the work in, it's blowing my mind how many things that I have going on right now. Like 2020, I got the People's Choice nomination, Best Actress and Best Screenwriter of the Year. Like, you put in the work. I just put in the work. I don't know any other way to say it. I put in the work.
Let me ask you this, because this comes up a lot, and I've wondered about it myself. Do you think that doing extra work is a good way to get your foot in the door? Like, definitively, is that something you would advise somebody to start with, or should they try another avenue? Because like you said, I feel like people get into it and sometimes they just kind of stay in it. And I guess the ideology is that if I continue to do extras, one day somebody will see me and want to put me in front of the camera. Like, what is your thoughts on doing extra work to get your foot in the industry?
Man, people give me a hard time when I say this, but that's all right. Um, it depends on what you want. And so that to answer your question, doing extra work is not a good way to get into the industry if you want to become a serious actor. Doing extra work is a way to understand protocol, understand the language. You know what cut means, you know what rap means, you know what rolling means, you know what pickup means, you know what flying talent in means. And because every sector of business, whether it's the entertainment business or it doesn't matter what business is, we have a certain language. It's important for an actor to know the language. We have grueling days. A 12-hour day on set is the norm. When we get an 8-hour day on set, 9-hour day, we're like, woo-hoo. But doing extra work is just that. It allows you to go in and get a feel for it. Extra work will also help you make a decision about whether this is something that you really want to do for the long term. But I would tell any actor or actress, being an extra is not a way to get in the industry. And people, like, you were there, we were on the panel at the Content Creators, and I had one lady that says, oh, well, I made that statement, and she said, I don't agree. I got bumped up to such and such, but okay, now watch this. Again, that's why, okay, you got bumped up because there are more primary roles for people who are not of color. So normally when we are extras as people of color, men and women, the primary cast are people of the Caucasian persuasion. And I love my Caucasian brothers and sisters. But the fact of the matter is that what am I going to get bumped up to? The maid? Because to be completely honest, the extra sets that I'm sitting on, the primary cast members are A-list celebrities that are Caucasian. A stand-in is a next level extra. Stand-in work brings you more money, but they never see you. You're standing in for the person so that the A-lister doesn't have to stand where you see the back or the side you understand what I'm saying? This industry, you have to figure out what it is you want for yourself and create a blueprint for yourself and trust your instincts. And understand this. Sometimes you're going to be standing by yourself. This industry will make you chase after this and chase after that. Oh, they're casting over here. Oh, they're doing that. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. No is the answer to the question. Extra work will not make you an actor or an actress or even get you a speaking role. It's going to take more than doing extra work. No.
All right, so let's stay in this particular zone. So knowing what you know now, what would be the advice you would give somebody who really wants to get into acting? If you're saying that doing stand-in or doing extra work is not advised, what would be a better way to do it? Since we're in this pocket, let's stay here. What would be a better way to do it?
I would tell somebody that eventually you do have to take lessons. I did get some studying, and shout out to Gregory Allen, Breakthrough Actor Studio, but continue to audition. Look for roles where you can see a similarity of the role that they're casting for with qualities that you already possess. And that was another thing. I made it my business to look for roles that it was easy for me to slip into that persona because the character read like me at some level. But continue to audition. Do not be afraid to tell people no. One of the things that I find is that actors don't want to say no. They want to be able to say yes to everybody, because you think if you say yes to everybody because they're giving you an opportunity, then the next time they have something that big that comes along, they're going to think about you. You must be out of your damn mind. This is a dog-eat-dog business, okay? Establish who you are. Ricardo, listen, let me tell you something. I came into this game, and some of the people that I dealt with when I first came, my first year in, they don't even mess with me no more because they look at me as their competition. What did you think? I came into this game so that you can help me for the next 5 or 10 or 15 years? When I came in this game, I was a boss. I might not have been a boss in the entertainment industry, but I came in here as a boss.
That's that New York in you.
You know what I'm saying?
That's that New York in you.
Ricardo, this is so, I met so many actors and actresses who this industry has beat the hell out of. I have met moms that have spent their money, their life savings, chasing after this dream and dealing with a lot of people that blow smoke. If this is what you want to do, find out as much as you can about the industry. You're going to kiss a lot of frogs before you find Prince Charming. I'm telling you that right now. So get ready for it. This is not an industry for the faint at heart, but you got to believe in what it is you're doing. You have to really have to be very singular minded. I tell people in a heartbeat, I ain't got time for that. You know, Miss Laura, I ain't got time for that. And people are afraid to do that. They don't know. I don't want to insult this person. I don't want to step on this person's toe. While you walking around this industry, worrying about everybody else, they using you up for all that is worth. How you can't pay me to be in your movie? You can film the movie, and then 3 months later, I see the movie on Amazon. I know Amazon is paying you. How you can't pay me to be in a movie? You make the movie, and then 4 weeks later, you taking pictures in the Bahamas. See, you're not gonna play those games with me. You understand what I'm saying?
All right, so two questions.
You're not gonna play those games.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, so let's go on the other side of that. Let's go on the other side of that statement. So how real is blackballing in the industry? Because you have a personality where you can walk off and probably be good, but looking at it from the other people's perspective, I feel like the fear is being blackballed in the industry. How real is blackballing in Atlanta? Is it a thing? Does it really happen? Is it something you should consider?
The blackballing is real, shorty. It is. It's real. It is.
All right. So for those that do not know, blackballing implies that people kind of, in essence, kind of ruin your reputation and kind of put out APB saying, don't work with this individual because there's this. Don't work with this individual because there's that. That's kind of, in essence, what blackballing is. So I asked that question again because, in Atlanta, there is a lot of opportunity, but I can't necessarily say there's as much opportunity as people think for certain types of roles, certain types of things that you want to get into. So I asked that question because, again, Laura has a personality, and you know this from the time you meet her. She's that chick. So she can walk up and probably walk on another one because people like that kind of personality. But for other individuals who may not be as bold or as much of a boss as Laura is, this may be something you really want to consider, that blackballing can happen if you don't act right on a set. Is that a fair?
So blackballing is real. So I'm not talking about not acting right on the set. I have been in situations where the production company has courted me and stroked me to convince me that it's all good. I get on set, it's raggedy, I got a cold sandwich for lunch, but I've already signed the contract. So I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I can't walk away from the situation. But what I'm saying is that you have, in order to be able to stand on what you believe, your work ethic must match your ability to stand up. You can't be balking and come to work late. You can't be balking and don't know your lines. You can't be balking and you're not paying attention. You don't have your set ears on. Anybody that has worked with me, I guarantee you, they're gonna tell you, oh, that girl, you want to work with her because I'm gonna put in work. But they're gonna also tell you, before you step to Laura, you need to have your stuff together. Ricardo, I've been in this industry for 4 years, and I gotta holler at my cousin James, who dropped the whole bag for my first music video. He's like, "Cousin, what you need?" I was like, "This is what I need." Drop the whole bag. But since I've been here, I worked on 4 funded productions. 4. When I'm telling you, people talk to me, they say, "How much you need to get this done?" I say, "This is how much I need," and they cut the check. So I don't make no mistake about it. Don't put your hind parts up on your shoulders. If you can't, it comes, you got to be able to take it like you give it. If you're gonna stand in authority, you got to be strong when it comes to doing the work. It's like people want to pick and choose. You have to be on it 100 all the time. I'm 100 all the time. And I understand that some people are like, you either love Laura or you hate her. There's no in between. I'm good with that because at my age, I don't have time to figure out the gray area.
All right. So let's go back. So take me back to when you had your first and I'll say it for you because you can decide that. I can't tell you. You can decide that. Take me back to your first big role and what it was like walking on the set and how you felt and what you were thinking, things of that magnitude.
Well, like I said, it would probably have to go back to Bobby Huntley. I knew who he was, but I didn't know, like I'm not from Atlanta. So I knew who he was, but he made it, him and Miss Nikki, they made it very welcoming. It was very scary. It was very scary. Of the actresses that I work with, they had some skin in the game, but they were very welcoming and open to me. So now watch this. It was a movie short. It was a low budget, but it was my first speaking role. So I needed hair and makeup. This is what I'm talking about being a boss. I had my own hair and makeup come to the set. I had my own hair and makeup come to the set in a role that I didn't get paid for because I needed the exposure. Understand, I'm not saying not to work for free. I'm saying after you pay your dues, you need to be able to know when you can no longer work for free. I did that for free and I paid my own hair and my own makeup. So when these women come onto the set, they getting hair and makeup because they the stars. I'm just a speaking role. I need my own hair and my own makeup. Believe you me, when my makeup artists and my hair people came in there and started opening up and said, "Come on, Miss Laura, people started paying attention. You go into a situation not knowing what to expect, but you definitely have control over what you're going to give. I ain't got no control over what I'm going to expect from you. The only thing I control is what I'm going to give. I walked in, wardrobe, they hung up my wardrobe. They was like, "Oh, Miss Laura, you got your own hair and makeup?" I was like, "Yeah." They was like, "Okay, they can set up over there." They did my hair, my makeup at the 8th hour because Bobby did not stagger my time. Staggering time means we're doing a 12-hour shoot. I know I'm not going to shoot Laura till around 4 or 5. I'll have her come in around 2 or 3. He did not stagger my time. So I was on set from the time they started shooting. They didn't shoot me until the 8th hour. And I had to sit there, be pleasant, smile, talk, answer questions. And when it was time for me to do my thing, I had to turn back on. And it did not matter whether I had been sitting there for 8 hours or not. Now watch this. Everybody's tired. So if I mess up my lines, now everybody really look, because they ready to go. They didn't have to do no 15 takes with me. I ain't been sitting here 8 hours to flub my line. So I didn't know what to expect. It was new. It was exciting. It was scary. It was satisfying. And it made me hungry for more. That 8 hours didn't bug me. That's sitting there and thinking to myself, why didn't he call me in later? I didn't know nothing about staggering times then. The only thing I knew is I left Baltimore, Maryland at 50 years old to come to Atlanta to be an actress, and somebody is getting ready to say, action. So how can I be upset about what I went through on set when this is what I asked for. That's what I asked for. Now, I didn't know everything that entailed what I asked for, but one thing I did know is be careful what you ask for. And I sat there, smiled for that 8 hours, did whatever they asked me to do. And when they said action, I dropped my lines. And from there, I mean, shoot, when we did Netflix with Killer Mike, that was so crazy. It was so crazy. We filmed it at the Blue Flame Strip Club. Shout out to Killer Mike. He's so cool. When we did that, now that was scary because I knew it was Netflix, right? It's Netflix. It's not indie. It's Netflix, right? So I'm really nervous. Okay, I get in with my wardrobe. They running around. Now watch this. This is what I'm saying about knowing who you are. Ricardo, Killer Mike was running that set like a boss. Netflix wasn't telling Killer Mike shit. Excuse my French, church people. Killer Mike was like, they was like, Killer Mike, what you want? Killer Mike, what you need? Killer Mike, how we go? Killer Mike. And I was like, whoa. I'm thinking, I'm going in, Netflix is going to be running the show. Hey, IG. Nah, Killer Mike was running that. And it gave, like, that's what I'm saying, y'all. Once you know what you want, you are going to start being attracted to like-minded people. These people are going to confirm or verify what you are trying to accomplish. It's so important. When I saw Killer Mike run that set, Netflix did not move until Killer Mike said, move. So, I mean, it's different experiences all over. Hey guys, yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So when did you decide it was time to transition or to shift into writing? And because you seem to have a good balance between the two. Like I never know what you're doing. I see you on set one day, the next time I see you behind set. I never know what you're doing, which is cool. That's what I love about the people in my circle. But my question to you is like, how do you balance it all? Because it's probably harder to jump out the gate saying I do all these things. So how did you decide, okay, I've learned enough about acting that now I want to be more behind the camera, or I want to do more writing and actually bring my stuff to life? How did you make that transition? How did you know it was time to move or to shift into another direction?
Okay. Acting is a very fickle part of the industry. I am an African-American woman of a certain age. So there are roles that come filtered through for me, but not as many as I would like to. Writing is very equal across the board. You write, he writes, she write, we all submit, and then the panel of judges say who's the best writer. You understand? I don't have to audition when I write. I don't have to put on makeup when I write. All I have to do is dig down inside of me and put my thoughts together on paper. And writing is a thing where that is your personal creative space. You know what I mean? You're not competing with the girl with the snatch waist and the long weave. When you understand what I'm saying. All right. So I started writing in between auditions. And after I wrote it, I said, now what do you do with it? And I said, okay, I'm going to do the film festival route. I didn't know that you could actually enter your screenplay. I thought film festivals were only for films, right? But do your research, guys. Anything you want to do, anything you want to get into, Google is a wonderful thing. So I started entering the screenplay, and it just started winning awards like crazy. So I guess the writing part was just natural for me. I recognized the amount of competition, the the limited amount of roles that even come through. It's not that I'm being offered. And I also noticed that certain women in the industry, hi Michelle Lamb, hi to Nikki, hi to all of these wonderful ladies, that it's a circle of Atlanta actresses. We all know each other. We are all at the same auditions, because it really kind of shows the climate for African American actresses of a certain age to get quality roles. And I knew that, and it became almost like something that I could see the audition post, and I would say, okay, Laura, you got to get there super early. It's going to be packed. You start to know certain things. And so writing was something that I did in between auditions to see where am I gonna fit, like in the industry. What is it gonna be for Laura? Is it gonna be acting first, writing second, producing, directing? So in order for you to know, you must do. So writing is just was something natural that came in trying to figure this whole entertainment thing out.
Okay. All right. So you have done the actress, you've done the writing. So now we're at you're directing too. So you direct as well, right?
Yes. And produce.
How we get there? How we get there? Like, you gotta show me how you shifted between, because I'm in media, but I'm not in the kind of media you're in. So I call my own shots because I do my own thing. But when you're on a set, or when you're writing, or when you're producing, or when you're directing, how do you shift between these things? Like, let's say you write something and somebody says we want it. Does that automatically mean you are able to direct it? Or is there a bargaining session you go through? What does that process look like?
Okay, so we talked earlier about bossing up, right? When you talk about producing, you can take producing in any sector. If you do an event, it's nothing but a production, right? If you do a conference, it's nothing but a production. In order to kind of go into various facets of any industry, you must understand the foundation upon which it is built. To have 23 solid years in upper administrative management, you don't work for Johns Hopkins if you playing games. And I was the site supervisor for Johns Hopkins. Once you understand the language and how things work, all you need to figure out is how to take that knowledge and understanding and transfer it into the sector that you now wish to go in. So before I can convince anybody that I can produce or direct their stuff, I had to produce and direct some of my own stuff. So I wrote the prequel to Choose This Day, my award-winning screenplay, and I wrote a 10-page movie short music video. I cast for it. I did the location for it. I directed and produced it and got IMDb credits. I promised my actors, if you come and work for me, you will have a premiere in Atlanta. And we got selected at the Do It Yourself Film Festival. Shout out to Do It Jack and the Do It Yourself Film Festival ATL. We screened it. I got my IMDb credits, and I was off to the races from there. I've worked for actor Armando Ledoux, and he did a conference, and I was the actress host. He was leaving Atlanta. True story. And a friend of his, a lawyer who was getting married, wanted to do a film production of his proposal without his girlfriend knowing. Armando said, Laura, I'm going back to New Orleans, and I don't trust anybody in Atlanta to work with my friend. I know that you've never done a film before, but I like how you move. Would you like to take the job? True story. I said, yep. Talk to the guy. Guy gave me a budget, $5,000 budget. I paid production. I went to pick the restaurant. I went in the restaurant. She said, "Oh yeah, Laura, you can film." I said, "We're gonna make sure we get the name of your restaurant." And I tell you what else we're gonna do. We want to have live action because he's gonna bring his fiance, and we're going to film it without her knowing. I'm gonna pay $20 on everybody's tech. Like I did it. I had never met this man before. He hired me to be an actress host. At the end of that, he gave me a $5,000 production job just because of how I interacted with him for 8 hours. Doing what I do is not just about the fact that I want to do it. See, I keep telling people, nobody cares about that. I want to do so. Nobody cares about what you want to do. You have to show people what you can do. I don't know. I don't know what to tell people.
So let me ask you this, because you brought this up. So how important is IMDb for an actor or an actress? Like, because I hear people talk about it, and it sounds like the more serious people talk about it more. The other individuals who are kind of just doing it kind of brief over it. How is it a make or break for somebody who's really trying to be taken seriously in the industry, or is it something else you can add to your portfolio?
IMDb is extremely important, but let me say this. If you don't have IMDb, I don't want you to be dissuaded because IMDb costs money and actors are out here starving. So what are you going to tell actors? You need an actor's access that costs $70 a year. You need to also be on backstage. That costs $100 a year. You need your IMDb. That is $200 a year. You need to get headshots every time you change your look. That can run into thousands of dollars a year. You need to put gas in your car. You need to have your own wardrobe. Is that what you're going to tell an actor? Really? See, these are the things that I'm talking about that beat up and tear down so many talented people because people are telling them that they can't be successful unless they have all of these accessories. I'm saying that yes, IMDb is important, but I'm telling you, don't not go to an audition because you don't have no damn IMDb. Some things will come. You got an actor trying to figure out how to keep their day job, how to also make auditions. Now they have to maintain all of these websites. Trust and believe. If you do anything and it's now watch this too. Let me just say this for the record. Some of these projects that these actors are working on in indie, the film doesn't even have IMDb. So you paying $200 a year, you only auditioning for films that don't have IMDb. They don't have IMDb because they can't afford IMDb. So now you have IMDb, but what difference does it make? You've done 4 films this year that don't have IMDb, so you can't put that film on IMDb unless the project has IMDb. These questions are layered questions with layered answers. And that's why there are so many actors and actresses that talented people, I'm talking talented people, getting screwed over in this damn industry because people are telling them, oh, you ain't going to make it if you don't have this. Oh, and you need that. And this is the industry standing and blah, 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 blah. All of that may be true. But what did you come here to do? If you came here to act, then you need to get to auditioning. The rest of that stuff will come. Do not live your dream because you don't have what somebody said you're supposed to have as the industry standard.
And there it is. There it is.
I'm just saying.
All right, so you were just saying the whole time, like, look, there is something that is to be said about passion. And the thing that I've always loved about you since I met you is you speak with such passion. Like, I'm reading the comments over here, and I'm trying not to laugh because everybody's like, yes, yes, then you gotta tell them, Laura, yes, yes. And I mean, it's so amazing. It's what I love about you. All right, so tell me about what you got going on now. Like, what's going on now? What are you working on? Who are you working with? Tell me about, because you've run into some great people and some great things. So share those things.
First of all, shout out to April Morrison, my executive producer. The next assignment, the next assignment is an independent web series action drama under April Morrison production. I came in on the project as the actress, and now I am the project manager of, oh my God, and I'm co-acting. I'm not the star. I came in as the lead, the star. So I'm not the lead actress anymore. I'm a supporting actress on it, but I'm also the project manager. That's great. I love April Morrison Productions. My whole team eats. And so pretty big production. We're coming in doing episode 1 and 2, filming in Atlanta, Georgia, summer 2020. Some of the best actors in the world: Timothy Tobias, Michelle Lamb, Demi Johnson, Christopher Johnson, Susan Norton. Like, if I missed you, I'm not dissing you, because you know I love you. Like, crazy great talent, working with great locations. So that's one of the things that I'm working on. Excited about that. Shout out to Natalie Davis. Where It All Goes Down, theatrical stage play, is now being turned into a web series, and I'm coming in as the lead actress. Sonia Steele, also filming here in Atlanta, Georgia. Paid production, everybody. So yeah, and I have to do this shout out, and I don't want to mess it up. So I auditioned 2 years ago for director Apar for a role in My Brother's Keeper. The role was written for a man, and I submitted my stuff, and I asked him, why didn't he write it for a woman? And he said to me, oh, do you think you can convince me to give it to a woman? I said, what's the address, boo? So, what's the address, boo? I auditioned and I got the role. Now, this is 2 years ago, right? But you see, you never know in this industry. So I thought that it was gone. It was dead. It happens all the time. We audition, something happens or whatever. 2 weeks ago, he hits me up. Laura, you still interested? I say, yeah, I'm still interested. He said, okay, send me your new demo reel, send me your new headshot. I sent it, everything. So I am so elated that I will be playing Detective Thompson in My Brother's Keeper, and I will be co-starring. Look, y'all, hold on, because y'all know Miss Laura can't see. Wait a minute, babies. Wait a minute.
You know you still keep your glasses on.
Okay. Starring Jamal Woodson, Mr. Jamal Woodson, the guy who played Biggie. He is, yes, and I'm not just in the movie with him. Him and I have actual dialogue. So,
okay, yes, congratulations.
Thank you. That's like the biggest thing for me in terms of being with Killer Mike. That was big, you know. But being in this with Jamal, and not just that, I want to work with Apar. I want to work with him. There is something about him. And also, guys, look for writers and directors that you want to work with. Follow them on all of their social media. Set your stuff to their alerts. So when these people are casting, you can get that casting notice. Stop waiting for somebody to cast and run after them. Look at productions, finished products, the way people move in the industry. Identify people you trying to get down with. Connect with them on social media. Keep up with them. And when those people have something going on, you'll get an alert. I want to work with Apar. I really, really want to work with him. So I am so happy about that. And also, I just became a published author. Can you guys see it? Unshakable Faith.
Wait, is that a book?
That's a book.
Is that a book that she wrote?
That's a book, and that's your girl right there. Don't play with me.
See, I didn't know that. You ain't telling me about that one now. You just tell me about that one. I found that out today.
Okay, Unshakable Faith, guys. It is a compilation book, and it is 20 testimonies of men and women of great faith by my good friend Tamika Prouty. Oh, okay. Hold on. You know, my friends, so you get by with a little help from your friends. So let me finish the book. It is Unshakable Faith, 20 testimonies by men and women of great faith, available on Amazon, written by my good friend Tamika Prouty. And I just got a text from one of my girlfriends said, don't be messing that man's name up. It is Woodard. So Woodard, Jamal Woodard. Thank you so much, babies. You know, they be keeping me in check. And that's something else. Steel sharpens steel. So I'm on here doing something wrong, but I got my family out there saying, no, you just messed up. And I received that. Surround yourself with people that will check you. If you uncheckable, then you ain't going nowhere in this industry. And I stay girded up with a bunch of strong women. We support each other. I mean, in this industry, you gotta have soldiers, man. You gotta have soldiers. Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you this, because I like to leave people with nuggets, because I think people remember steps. So 3 things that you would say to somebody, and we're gonna get out of the age thing, because clearly you being you, it just made the difference. So 3 things you want to say, or 3 pieces of advice you would give individuals who are really trying to get their foot in the door and really make this something that really want to follow and execute, being an actor or director, all things you've already done. What are 3 pieces of advice you would give them?
No only means not now. No doesn't mean never. No only means not now. I need to say that again. No does not mean never. No only means not now. Okay? Because no's will discourage you. When you walk away from your no, say, okay, just not now. Don't let those no's can compile. They'll pile up. Your no will be piling up. You got to remember, no just means not now. The second thing that I would say is believe in yourself above all the chatter. Receive the advice if it's good. If it doesn't apply to you, shake it off. A lot of times we get information and we make the mistake of thinking that we need to take all of it. You don't need to take all of it. You sit down and listen to a speaker talk, you're not going to agree with everything they say. Same thing with advice.
Exactly.
Right. So you get advice from people. Whatever you can use and utilize in your journey, take it. What doesn't work for you, discard it. The last thing. Don't be afraid to turn down opportunities. I think that one of the biggest mistakes that actors and actresses make is that they take everything that's presented to them. While you're taking that foolishness because you don't want to say no, because you're scared something else is not going to come along, now you're busy when that big thing comes along. Stop being afraid to tell people no. No, I can't do it. No, I'm not going to help you. No, no, no.
Look, I agree. I've learned how to say no on a lot of things, and before I got to where I'm at now comfortably, I did not know how to say no, and I absolutely agree with you. All right, tell everybody how to get in touch with you.
Okay, guys, I'm on Facebook as Laura Poindexter. I am on IG as the Soul Writer 1. I'm on Twitter as Miss Resourceful. I'm on Film Freeway at Laura Poindexter. YouTube at Laura Poindexter. Laura Poindexter. Laura Poindexter. Laura Poindexter.
All right, there you have it. Okay, so a lot of y'all probably saw me in rare form today. Look, me and Laura, we cut up on the phone for 2 hours, just kicks and giggles, like for 2 hours, just shooting the breeze, talking. So I didn't expect it to really be that much different. Thank you for being the guest on today. Like, I'm inspired, like, because the passion you speak with is amazing, and you just don't see that level of passion very often. So I count it as a treat for my audience, the listeners, the watchers, all that great stuff. You will see us together real soon, because I just got to be around her, because I need that kind of energy. So I have to be around her because it's just fun and it's just great. All right, so we will see you guys on next week. We will not be doing a show on Monday. We will return on Friday when we have Alex Gaines with us. She is an attorney who specializes in estate planning. So we're actually going to talk about your estate, where it goes, how do you estate plan, the stuff that we do not talk about. So we're going to talk about that next Friday, and there may be some surprises within the week. I'll let you know. So until then, we will see you the next time on the Leadership Blend with your host, Ricardo D. Wright. Say goodbye, Laura.
You. See ya.